All right. Let's go ahead and give Mike a call. I got a text from him not long ago. Missed call even. All that being said, it seems as though he might be coming in hot today. I don't know. He said he'd save it for the pod. Seemed a little heated. So let's go ahead and give him a ring and see how this goes.
Hello.
Hello.
What up?
Sup, man?
Fuck, dude. I am, so here's the deal. I'm currently carrying stuff into the house, and I'm going to tell you why, because I'm not very happy about it.
Okay. Does this have to do with your phone call that I missed?
This is the call. Yes, yeah. This has to do with it, because I wanted you to experience the hell that I was experiencing, dude. The utter misery that I was going through. I wanted you to be a part of it, dude. Just give me 1 second. Let me throw some food inside. But yeah, it was a terrible fucking experience. So you know how I've been, like, on this Chipotle kick lately?
For how many years?
Well, I took a break after, our friends who I'm assuming were recording. I always do, so I'm not going to say that.
Oh, boy, and yeah, we are. This is episode, I don't know. What is it, 5 or 6?
Five.
Episode 5?
No.
Or 6.
I'm going to go 5.
It doesn't matter. It's another episode, and it's going to be on time. We cut it close, but it's going to be on time, so welcome in. Thanks for listening. Jake and Mike here. And
I'm going to give my signature. I'm going to start. That's going to be my new signature thing.
Oh, I think my new signature in lieu of the Super Bowl is going to be... That sounds like Freiberg from... is that his name from Futurama? Zoidberg, I was close.
That guy.
I think I combined two characters.
I'm sticking with the...
Uh-oh, where'd you go? Ah, god damn it. I lost you there.
True, dude.
What was that? I lost you.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Did it switch over to your car or something?
Yeah, I was connecting to the car. Let me grab the old PG out of here. All right, good. So anyways, let me give you the rundown on what happened. So, I go to Chipotle, as I normally do. It's my new ritual on podcast nights. I decided to stay away from the pizza because it takes too long, right?
Okay.
So, of course...
So are you at your home away from home then?
I'm at my actual home.
Oh.
Home. Yeah, there was... without going into too much detail, recently there's been some family health things, so I'm off my day job for a couple of days.
To brush that over, all fine from last night, or just complicated?
Yeah. They split him open, dude, and he's a bionic man now.
Not to go into much detail, but they split him open?
Split him open, dude, wide open, and
that's good, though.
Going.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, all good. So, I'm at my home, and I go to my Chipotle. So let me just, give you a time frame here, right? Because podcast starts at, we start recording at our time, 10 p.m., because I don't even know why. We're just some ridiculously late time. But, says the man who, goes to bed at 7, 8 o'clock at night, because I'm old as fuck.
Man, I'd like to.
Right. Amen, dude. But I go, and so have you seen these new Chipotle drive-thrus?
No.
Okay. So there's a new Chipotle in my area. It has a drive-thru. And the way it works is you don't drive up and order stuff. You order ahead of time, and this is where you pick up.
Oh, that's cool. I hope this is the only one that exists, and you're just totally outing yourself.
No, there's definitely more. I've seen other ones. It's a thing. So, I go, and my time is set for 9:15 is my pickup time, right?
Sure.
So it gives me plenty of time. Just to give a preference, the Chipotle is approximately 10 minutes from my house. So I have plenty of time, right? I go get my Chipotle. I pick it up happily at 9:15, drive home, all is well. I got at least 15 minutes before podcasting time, so I'm good.
Yeah.
As you see, that's not how things went. So I pull up. There's one car ahead of me, okay?
Yep.
The whole idea of this drive-through is you pick a time, you go. It's very quick. You drive up. You give them your name. They give you the bag.
Have you done this?
You
Have you done this before? This isn't your first time going through this.
Multiple times. Many times. Yes,
okay.
Many times.
Okay.
No issues. Okay. So there's.
I was just making sure that you're not getting the rules wrong. You know.
No. This is it. Yep. You set a time. You go. Pick it up.
Okay.
All is well. Right.
Cool. Got it.
Usually they haven't even done like 5 minutes in advance. Like usually, like you can roll up a little bit early and it's still good to go. Right. So I drive up at 9:15, and there's one car in front of me. It's a white car. I'm gonna out these bitches. It's a white Elantra, and it is full of these loud, annoying, what I would assume to be drunk women. Like, I don't know this for a fact, but by their behavior, and relatively young, I would say in the 19 to 25 age range, relatively young. Okay, so I have no problem with that. It's fine. So I'm waiting. I wait about 5 minutes, and they give them a bag. All is well. Except it's not. They sit there. Okay?
Uh-huh.
About 3 minutes later, another bag comes out. Full bag of Chipotle. Not a small bag.
Yeah.
A huge bag.
Yeah.
Okay? This has got to be it, right? I've waited 10 minutes. No. Dude, I am not even kidding you when I tell you I waited there for 25 fucking minutes. And once I was there, I was fucked because there was a car behind me, so I couldn't squeeze out and go inside. And I was about to leave my car and smack the food out of this bitch. Dude, 25 minutes, I'm not even kidding, 6 bags. 6 full bags of Chipotle in 5-minute increments, dude. Like, I have never seen anything like it in...
So it's... What? We're recording this on a Tuesday, literally the Tuesday before this gets released, right? So Tuesday night, it's going up as soon as we're done, and I'm turning this around real quick. What could they possibly be doing on a Tuesday evening?
Dude, I'm not even concerned with the Tuesday evening. Where the fuck, like, it is against now, when you bring up the rules, there's an interesting thing here. You cannot get in line, order the food, and then instantly get it. That is against the rules. You cannot do that. So how the fuck were these women, or they had 6 different orders they had to fucking pick up 5 minutes apart? Dude, I was more furious. Like, it's every bag that came out, dude. My blood was boiling. I could feel my kidneys were shutting down, dude, from my high blood pressure. Like, my kidneys are hurting right now because my heart is pumping blood so hard into them that they just can't even fucking sustain life anymore, dude.
So and
I'm hoping that this Fiji water will save me, dude, because if not, I'm probably going to keel over on air as we speak. And it's going up in the morning either way. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean...
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's going up. I hope I don't have to hear you die on air. Yeah. I for one, before we get into the subject of the podcast, which is sports, because there's a lot going on in the sports world recently. Exactly. That's the new Vuvuzuela.
I plan on doing that at least 50 times throughout the podcast.
But so I am back from my trip. I had a work trip. Back from it. Yep. All went well.
Survived. No coronavirus.
Right. Well, and that's what I'm getting at is, so part of this trip was going through a big area. It's an international airport. I'm concerned, and you don't think that there's reason to be concerned. And I'm concerned, though, less about me, more about I have a pregnant wife, I have a almost 2-year-old son, and I fear passing anything off onto them. And so earlier today, actually when I got off the phone with you earlier today, I started to feel a small tickle in the back of my throat, and that's where I was just like, oh no, this is it. This is everything.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's not good. I'm not going to say it. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I think it's a little overblown. Like, I think it's a little. I think it's a little bit, blown out of proportion. I don't think we need to worry about it quite as much as people are making it seem. But at the same time, I mean, I would agree that safety's good. Like, you should definitely, like, be hand washing, watch for symptoms, like that kind of stuff. But that being said, I don't think you're going to keel over anytime soon.
Right. And I hope not. But I just know that, I've got really until next Monday before I am really in the clear of, like, okay, I haven't seen or, had any symptoms. I guess I'm all right. So till then, I am taking it easy. Where I was certainly a melting pot of people. I don't want to just give away where I was because you'd probably figure out, what I do.
Which is pretty cool, I gotta say, though.
Sure.
You guys can't know it, but it's a pretty cool job. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm a little jealous about it.
So, and
I'm a little jelly.
And the thing here, though, is that, I am really at the end of this month, at the end of February, I'll be going on another work thing, closer to where I live, and so I don't really have to worry about any airports or anything like that. But I still, I'm going again to somewhere where there's just a large gathering of these people in the same industry. And it's just another cause for concern. But I think I'll be all right. I keep to myself. I'm not a party animal anymore, so I'm not out there in a crowded area where, like, I have to do you remember, like, we used to be at parties where we would have to, dance to get to one side of the room to the other? Like, you have to dance through the crowd. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm not in that anymore.
Yeah.
So
I actually completely forgot about those parties.
So I don't have to do that stuff anymore because that's not my scene. But yeah. So I guess
the dance walk scene was great, though.
For sure. Well, we killed it. But so let's get into it, dude.
As much as two white guys dancing drunk as fuck across the room couldn't kill it, yeah, we killed it.
Yeah, we killed it. So let's get into it. Before
drunk dancing.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, if drunk dancing was a sport.
There we go. I like it. This is a segue.
We would have been gold medalists, dude.
Right. And now there's other people where if drunk dancing were a sport, they might as well be considered dead in a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
So that's where I want to hop on to the Kobe convo before we get into Super Bowl. And then after Super Bowl, I've got a sport that you brought up to me that I am not for. It's a sport I've never heard of. I looked it up after what you sent to me, and I fucking hate it. But we will get into that.
I think people should be proud. We did a little research on this episode. We actually did some shit.
So let's jump into it. Like, what's your Kobe thoughts?
Here's what I have to think about. I mean, am I bummed that Kobe is dead? Sure. Like, I'm not saying I'm not. Here's what pisses me off when any celebrity dies is that, like, I just can't get over the fact that, like, one person dying, like, just totally, like, wrecks the news cycle in the world. And there's literally, like, people dying in the streets as we speak, and nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
Like, I realize Kobe was an extremely talented person. Sure, I'm not denying that. And like I said, I don't want, it sucks. It's not great. Like, it's not on, like, it's not, I would say 0 out of 10 would not do again, probably, like, as far as death goes. Like, it's not something we look forward to. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it just always irritates me when any celebrity dies. Not just Kobe, any celebrity dies. And it's like the end of the fucking world. And I'm like, dude, there are literally, like, thousands of people dying every minute. And nobody gives a fuck.
Sure.
It just irritates me. I don't know.
I have my take, which is when I first heard about it, right? I had first of all I had the Pro Bowl on, and whether you're a football fan or not, the Pro Bowl is a game where you get all the best players from the NFL together, AFC versus NFC, and they hardly fucking go at it. It's a vacation for the top players of the NFL. It is such a boring fucking game. It really is. But I turn it on, and I just do shit around the house. And, every once in a while you look back to see what's going on, see what kind of crazy highlights there were, blah, 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 right? So while I have it on and I'm, like, going around the house, it's like, breaking news, Kobe dies in helicopter crash. It didn't really stick because the day before, literally 24 hours before, the news was LeBron James, who now plays for the Lakers, surpasses Kobe Bryant for the all-time scoring record in NBA history. So that's what was on my mind, and so I thought during the Pro Bowl they were talking about that, and so nothing really stuck. So then I get an update on my phone saying, Kobe dies in a helicopter crash, and that's when I was like, oh, fuck. And my instant thought, not a popular thought, was, yeah, I suppose if you rape a girl, karma is going to come back around and get you.
Yeah.
Let me be fair. I did not know that all these other people were on the helicopter. And so I guess that's what I'm getting at, is when I found out that his, I believe it was 13-year-old daughter was on the helicopter along with a bunch of other people. That's what hurt me. It's not losing. It's not the fact that this adult male died on the helicopter. Honestly, I'm not affected by it. I don't care. I know a lot of people are, because a lot of people are Lakers fans. I'm not affected by that. What I'm affected by is the fact that Kobe has 4 daughters, one that died with him, right? So now he's got 3 other daughters and a wife that now are going, these 3 other daughters, without their oldest sister and without their father. You got to set aside the rape stuff and all of that. You got 3 daughters who are innocent kids, right, that now have to go without their father. That really sucks. And they don't understand why they don't have their father or their oldest sister anymore. That fucking sucks. That's what kills me, man. That's what kills me. Now, when you see everyone doing all these crazy things, LeBron getting this tattoo of Mamba for life or whatever the fuck it was, that's the stuff where it's like, like he wasn't a great person, though. Like,
what blows my mind, though? Here's what blows my mind. And I want to start by saying, like, I'm not, like, did you hear, like, recently, like, this was, like, today or yesterday, Rush Limbaugh was diagnosed with, and, dude,
but, like, so say it, though, say it, for those who don't know, Rush Limbaugh was just diagnosed with it's a lung cancer, I believe?
Lung cancer.
Yeah,
correct.
But it's, like, very, very fast acting, from my understanding.
Yeah. And, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not a Rush Limbaugh fan. I think he's a big fucking asshole. But at the same time, dude, like, if you look at, like, I'm a big Redditor, right? And, like, I mean, I think that represents at least a decent portion of, like, people's general thoughts. You would not believe some of the comments on Reddit about, like, how, like just people being, I don't even know, dude. Like, I couldn't imagine saying some of the things that people have said about somebody who was just diagnosed dying of cancer, regardless of his position
just
on
celebrating,
politics,
right?
Dude. Yeah, oh my gosh, dude. Like, the greatest thing that ever happened. But then Kobe, I mean, like, and again, I terrible that he died, but I mean, like, he wasn't the greatest person in the world.
He wasn't a good person.
You know what I mean? Like,
he wasn't a good person.
Fucked up shit.
And so there's a lot of people, right? So you've got the people on Twitter who say, who bring up the rape charges, all that, and then other people who fire back saying, yeah, well, everything was dropped, so fuck you, he's innocent. Now, let me get one thing clear. Just because something is dropped does not mean someone is innocent, right? So if you read the reports, he assaulted that poor underage girl. It is insane. and they settled outside of court. He paid her something like $2.5 million. And then do you know what he did the following week? He bought his wife a $4 million ring. So don't tell me that he's not able to pay both fucking sides off. His family and the victim.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, dude. I just don't, like I said, I don't get it.
You don't pay that kind of money. You're not an innocent man and pay that kind of money to both the victim and your wife. Like,
right. Well, no, for sure. I don't disagree with that at all. Something I do want to point out before we brush it over. When you were talking about the news break, do you remember who broke it first? Kobe News? Yeah, Kobe News. Do you remember who broke it?
No, not at all.
Okay, so it was TMZ that broke it, dude.
Oh,
and
you're right. You're
30
right.
minutes before anybody else. Dude, I gotta tell you what, TMZ is on point every time they have the break on this. And everybody's like, well, it's hold off because it's TMZ. It's a fucking smut. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're a fucking tabloid. Dude, they have their shit together.
They really do.
Dude, it never ceases to amaze me every time they're right, dude. Their track record has got to be impeccable. Because every time I see something crazy like this go down, it's first broke by TMZ, and then everybody waits. They sit on it because TMZ is the one that broke it.
Now,
it is right.
In fairness, so there are small things where it's like, oh, maybe it's not right. So, like, when it first came out, it was like the news when it broke, it was Kobe and, like, pretty much Kobe and his family. Like, everyone died. That's like what was first released, right? And then facts started getting straight. However, nonetheless, it was Kobe. And that's all anyone who gives a fuck about profiting off of articles being written about him, anything like that, that's all that really mattered, is that Kobe died. And I know that that's disrespectful to the other families. And I also think it's disrespectful that there's no nod or mention of the other families really for another couple days.
Dude, that I don't know anyone else who died, the names of anyone else who died in that fucking crash.
They did
except for Kobe and his daughter.
Right, so they did finally announce the other names, but it wasn't for like another 72 hours or so.
Yeah, dude, I still don't know. I couldn't tell you one other fucking person. What, there was 8 people? Was it like 8 people?
8 or 9, I believe, and they all had to do with his daughter's basketball team. They were on their way to their daughter's basketball practice. So the coach, some other kids, it's just not a not a good thing by any means.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. The whole thing's fucked. I mean, like I said, I feel bad about it, but at the same time, like, I mean, he was a dude that died. I'm sure right now there's a helicopter crashing somewhere that no one will ever talk about.
No one will ever even read about. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I mean, I just don't think that one loss of life should be any greater than another. And that goes back to, like, the Rush Limbaugh thing. Like, again, I don't have to agree with him to say, like, dude, that sucks that he has, you know what I mean? Like, nobody wants somebody, like, I'm sure he doesn't have popular views, but I mean, like, that I don't think people are inherently good or bad. People do good and bad things, but I don't think people are inherently one or the other. I don't believe that, dude. I think that, because I can tell you what, I have done some shitty things in my day, and I don't think I'm necessarily a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, I have done some things I am not proud of, and I don't know anybody who cannot say that. So, like,
I've done things in my past that I still will just randomly, it just pops into my mind, and I get that guilty feeling of just like, oh, I'm never gonna overcome this, like.
You ever do something really stupid that's really embarrassing that, like, no one else probably even thinks about, but, like, dude, it haunts you?
Yep.
Last night, I woke up, I'm not even kidding, in a sweat I had a nightmare where I relived one of those embarrassing moments, dude. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I woke up, and like, at first I was like terrified, dude. And then I was like, I had to laugh about it. I'm like, dude, nobody else will even think about that ever again in the existence of time except for me.
That's
and
something
I'm
that
having fucking nightmares.
That's something that I try to remind myself a lot whenever I fall into those thoughts. Is like, listen, no one else, like, this doesn't even pop up in anyone else's mind ever. Why do I still care? You know?
Right. Right. Crazy, dude.
However, that's not going to be the story for Kyle Shanahan blowing a 20-10, I believe it was, lead against Kansas City Chiefs. He is going to remember that as well as everyone else, considering just a few years prior when he was the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, he blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. It is safe to say that while he's trying to follow in his father's footsteps, he just continues to fall up short. His father, Mike Shanahan, has, I believe, 3 Super Bowl rings.
I'm going to just say, it's also safe to say that, like, you know much more about sport. I'm going to sound like an idiot in this podcast interview. I just want to say that now. It's like, you're like Fact Master Flash, dude. And I'm like, I think the football is oblong shaped. From what I understand, pigs had to die to make the sport happen. So, yeah.
Well, those pigs wouldn't have died if those pigs were motherfucking man.
Hey, can I okay, so this is a stupid question, but whatever. Yeah. Is football still actually made out of pigskin?
No, man, it's leather.
Is it pig leather?
That's a great question, actually, but I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I mean, these are the questions we need to be asking.
So that's, yeah, you know what? Any listener out there, actually, please email us. The email is in the description of this episode and the prior one. It is stuff you wouldn't say out loud pod. So it's SYWSOL pod.com. No, see, yeah, we're fucking this all up.
I got it, dude. I was
SYWSOL at Gmail. SYWSOL at gmail.com. Anyways, it's in the description.
All right, good.
Email us. Let us know. Let us know what the football is made out of if you have some sort of insight. I don't think it is pig anymore.
And if you could choose one animal of it for it to be made out of, like if you could choose an animal for the football to be made out of, what would it be? And it can be mythical or real.
Let's not. No. Listen, let's not. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do human, but also not mythical, because, like, fuck that. I hate that shit, okay? Anytime that there's dragon talk, go fuck yourself. Dragons aren't real. I can't stand it.
You're not going to use a fucking dragon skin. It's scaly as hell, dude. Cut your hands off on that shit.
I'd be interested in one made out of cheetah.
Ooh, cheetah ball.
Yeah. I like that.
Wow, dude.
I like that.
Mind is blown.
Yeah.
Mind is fucking blown. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Super Bowl I thought it was a pretty good game this year.
Yeah, it was a game that I wasn't going to touch betting-wise. Just two great teams. The team with the better quarterback obviously walked away on top. And Andy Reid is just such a great play caller. And his weapons with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman is just as fast as Tyreek. And Sammy Watkins is like this like sneaky little dude that not little, he's a big guy. He can catch the 50-50 ball, but my God, like, who would have thought that he would have catches that actually mattered in the Super Bowl? So you got Andy Reid with all these weapons, but on the other side, Kyle Shanahan, who, you know, he's able to draw up these schemes, these running schemes that just like that are getting just as much yards as anyone else passing the football. It's insane to see. And so me going into it, I actually thought that somehow the 49ers were going to win. In hindsight, it just seems like so obvious that there's no way that the Chiefs wouldn't have won. I put too much faith in the 49ers defense. 49ers defense is, they're ranked number 1 in the NFL this year, so I thought that they'd be able to lock it down. But that wasn't the case. But what I did bet on was some of the prop bets. I thought that was a way to keep my wife entertained as well.
I just want to say I hope both teams had fun. I think that's what we really should. That's about all I know about it. I hope they had a good time. They looked like they were having fun.
Well, I think they did. I think they did up until the end. I think. I'm glad.
That's all I got to add. That's all I had to add.
No, I'm glad you came in with the. I'm glad you came in with the hard hitting. The hard hitting facts of the game of football.
Yeah, dude. I thought they really did. They both did just a great job. Good job. I think we should all join Trump in celebrating Kansas.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the great state of Kansas, man.
The great state of Kansas. Gotta win. Got a W.
Got a W.
It's good.
It's good. It's great. It's great for the state of Kansas.
Great for the United States. United States Super Bowl champions 54.
So let me
0. That's right.
Let me go through. I'm going to try and remember all the different bets that I put money down, and you, who probably didn't watch much of the game, let alone national anthem, halftime show, all that shit.
I did not watch the Demi Lovato, right?
Yep. So you got that right, but. So the two bets that I put down for the national anthem, right? First one, I said the bet was, will she wear anything other than a skirt, dress, shorts? I think that's it. And so I said,
Does a woman's suit count?
A woman's suit is anything other, right? So.
Okay.
So I said yes, right? So I won because she wore pants. I think it was a woman's suit, maybe.
A pantsuit.
Yeah.
Pantsuit.
Yeah.
No, she didn't wear that. I don't think. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I won because I figured she wore pants. And then
good pants. Yay for pants.
The other bet was that she will have a microphone any other color than black.
Ooh, damn. I would have never even thought about that. It's a good one. I'm going to say, without watching it, here's my bet. Because now it's over, but I still didn't watch it. I'm going to say that it was black.
Yeah, it was, and I voted that it would not.
All right.
I bet that it would not be black, so I lost that one. And then fast forward to, I believe I had 3. Yeah, I had 3 different bets. One was a Hail Mary that I knew wasn't going to happen, so I just put down a low amount of money. But, like, if it happened, I would have won hand over fist. Just, I would have been swimming in it. So the first one was either Shakira or J-Lo will take a drink of Pepsi at any time at any time throughout the halftime show.
Ooh. I'm going to say no, they didn't.
Right, they did not, but I put the money on that they would because it was like you put down I think it was like plus 700, right? You put down such a small amount and you're like swimming in it. So I was like, yeah, whatever. But they didn't, so I lost that one.
Damn it.
The next one was that J-Lo or Shakira would be caught lip syncing. Not both, but one or the other.
I don't know if I watched it closely enough, but I'm going to say yes, they did.
I also feel like they did, but I lost the bet.
That's bullshit, dude.
I agree.
Don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I agree. I think I should have won that one, but I didn't.
Can we get to the cleavage? Can we please?
Well,
that's something I really want to talk about.
And that's the final one. This is the final one. It was specifically J-Lo. Will J-Lo show butt cleavage?
So did you talk to them about the definition of butt cleavage?
No, I just put the money down saying, of course she's going to show butt cleavage. She's J-Lo. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
What did they have to say?
Well, I won. I got the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
She did show butt cleavage.
Right, which is interesting because you went back and watched and determined that there was no butt cleavage.
I do not believe so. Here's what. When I define cleavage, I'm thinking like in a typical sense, like when we're talking about breast cleavage, I'm thinking like that there is like the top of the breast is exposed, right? Like you can see that crease, the cleavage itself.
Right.
I do not see any butt cheek whatsoever, and I would assume that's what butt cleavage would be.
I mean, there's definitely like edges of butt. But I don't know.
Are we talking?
Because clearly you're not going to split the underwear down the middle. And
I'm not talking about that kind of butt cleavage. I was thinking like a low draw cleavage,
right.
Just like a plumber's butt. That's butt cleavage.
Oh no! I think butt cleavage is typically from like it's like opposite. It's like from the lower. It's not up top.
So like
it's not a plumber. The
intergluteal folds.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I won, so.
Oh well, that's good. I mean, that's really all that matters.
and so the good thing about it is like out of the 5 bets, I only won 2 of them. But because the value was so high on hitting it right, that I wound up on top. So. It was a good night.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. I mean, like I said, I need to get in on that next time. I think we're going to Vegas in the spring. Is that right?
Us?
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Yeah, it should be because I'm just kind of breaking it on you, but
okay.
I think
I thought this was another. I thought this was another documentary situation where I'm like, oh no.
No. I'm just thinking that's what we should probably do this spring. Is yeah. So I'll make it happen. Don't worry about it. Well, I'll just give you the deets when we get there.
See, I like sitting back and looking for the value in bets. I don't know how well I would do in Vegas for, say, like playing the craps table or something. Like that's not me because I don't understand that. I would have to.
I'm talking about like betting on whether a street artist is going to fall on their face, or like betting on how much money a homeless person will make in a day. I'm talking about personal bets in Vegas. So.
Oh well, I mean.
That's probably more fun if you think about it.
That's super fun, but we would have to follow around like a homeless crackhead to see how many times he falls.
That's correct. Yeah.
So in that case, why would we have to be in Vegas for that?
Because it's Vegas.
You could go to like Arkansas and be like, well, how many turkeys are going to die? And I'd say 90% of them, dude.
I would say 0%. Dude, I will take you up on that bet. I think this is something we got to do now.
It's
this
bullshit.
Is something we have to do. This is turning into a thing.
This is
turning
bullshit.
into a thing, dude, and we're going to have to go.
I'm not for it. No. I don't know.
Explain what's happening.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if this has been brought up on the podcast, but
we'll make it quick because it's not really sports related. Well, we're betting on it. I guess betting's technically kind of a sport, right?
Yeah,
like you win or you lose. So, okay.
So go ahead.
So there's a town that I can't remember the name of in Arkansas.
See, so it's not even that important. You can't even remember the name of the town.
Dude, the name of the town doesn't matter. What matters is that they have something called a turkey trot,
Bullshit.
Which sounds pretty innocent. Like you think that might be like a 5K on Thanksgiving, but no. This is where a plane flies overhead, drops live turkeys out of the plane. Okay, these turkeys float gently.
They do not.
Ever so gently.
There's no way.
Fluttering their little wings.
Nope.
Fluttering their little wings down to the ground.
Nope.
Where the children of the town intercept them.
Nope.
And take them home to eat for Thanksgiving.
I wouldn't be surprised if like 2 kids a year died from a turkey falling on them. from a fucking plane.
I mean, I'm sure the turkeys have claws coming out, dude, when they're like falling down.
There's no way.
Dude, Okay. If we're doing this then, dude. There's an article about the physics of turkeys falling from a plane.
Anybody out there, SYWSOL@gmail.com. Let us know your findings, because I refuse to look it up, because that's how confident I am that there are turkeys that just die, that just heart attack and just fucking fall. Like, there's no fucking way.
Can I just quote something here real quick?
Yeah,
so
I'm sure it's wonderful. Go ahead.
LiveScience.com. The article is titled, this is by Jesse SPAC. It doesn't matter. What happens when you drop a turkey from a plane, and there's a picture of a turkey falling from this plane?
Yeah, it dies.
It's Crooked Creek, or Yellville, Arkansas is what it's called, okay? So while turkeys can't flap their wings and soar as many other birds can, they can slow their fall, says a professor of anatomy at the University of Southern California.
Wonderful.
So these turkeys, they can't do it forever. So, again, they have to be dropped from a certain height. It can't be too high.
Yep.
But they glide. They can't glide very well, given their shape and height. But they do create a little bit of lift, enough lift that they can fall and not be killed. Correct.
The main thing was could.
This is science.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? And you know what? And I could shoot you in the stomach, and you could not be killed. But it doesn't.
Can you just check your text message? Check your text message.
But it doesn't.
Right now.
But it doesn't seem like a wise thing to do.
Can you just check it? Check your text message.
Yeah, I see it. I just don't know if I want to look this article up. Are you laughing because they just die? Are you going to show me?
No, I'm laughing because, dude, you are
God,
so
look at that
wrong.
photo.
I told you, dude. I told you.
This is terrible.
This is what is up, dude.
No, it's not.
Dude, and you know what sound turkeys make? Oh! Dude, can we get to the elephant in the room, dude? That thing that Shakira did.
Yep.
Let's just talk about it real quick.
Yeah, that's fair.
One of the greatest things, I think, in the history of sports entertainment. I have never been so riveted, shook into my core, dude. I experienced such a range of emotion watching that looped over and over and over again. And it's mostly joy. Like, I am so filled with joy by the fact that she did that. Like, the tongue motion is just impeccable. The sound is amazing. Yeah. I could watch it looped. I probably watched it looped 250,000 times since the Super Bowl.
I mean, I don't know if I've watched it that many times, but I think it's awesome.
I literally prepping for this show was nothing except for me streaming like my phone onto the TV screen, like with my wife sitting there. Just that looped on YouTube there's a 10-hour loop of it, and we let it go for probably 45 minutes before she lost her mind, dude. I'm not even kidding. Just looped over and over.
So a basic search here, right? So like this one here, 6 turkeys tossed from plane on Arkansas Festival's first day.
You're on the turkey.
6 tossed, 5 survive.
That's pretty good odds, dude. You said most of them would be dead.
I don't want to see any die.
Dude, we need to go to this event. We need to dude, we will podcast from it. You know, people don't want to talk about turkeys dying, falling out of planes. That's something that you would not talk about, dude. You wouldn't say out loud. This is a great event. Turkeys are falling from the fucking sky. We need to go do a live show, dude, where people can call in. I don't know how we can do that, but I feel like we need to.
Jesus
We need
Christ.
to go straight to Yellville. Make it happen. This is a great T-shirt idea, dude. I need this on a T-shirt. I need this on a T-shirt.
You know how many people think that, like, I bet you that they're just like, they're not going to die. They're birds.
Dude, the whole point is it doesn't matter if they die or not because those kids are eating them. They literally are chewing their throats out as they fall from the sky.
Jeez.
I met a girl who was from this town. They said these kids round them up and drag them back by their necks. And it's Thanksgiving dinner. It's time. Everybody eats. The town rejoices, dude. It's good. It's nothing but good. You can't tell me you don't like turkey meat. It's delicious.
I mean, yeah, I eat turkey, and you know what? And I have no problem with hunting turkey. I do have a problem with dropping them.
I think.
I do have a problem with dropping them from a fucking airplane.
Well, I told you, they did get in a little bit of heat for it, so they moved it to throwing them off the city hall.
Yeah, but you know they're back to airplanes. You know they just do
Probably.
that. Yeah, you know they just do that till the heat passes.
Hey, can you imagine going to a town where literally they throw turkeys off of the fucking city hall building?
Yeah, I would be like, these are a bunch of moron people. We need to get the fuck out of here.
I'd be like, these are my people, dude, and I need to move. These are my people. Oh, God, dude. Such good times. Good times with the turkey toe. But, all right, back to sports.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. You want to get into... Let's get into a new sport that a lot of people, I hope, forget about by the end of this podcast, because I am totally against it. I think it is. I think it is so fucking stupid.
I'm so happy it exists.
Go ahead.
All right, so this is the wide world of chess boxing.
That's right. He said chess, like the board game.
Chess.
Boxing,
board games similar to the
like fighting.
Boxing.
Chess,
Correct.
boxing.
Brains and brawn.
Now this
together as one.
Consists of 11 rounds.
Correct.
It is 6 rounds of chess and 5 rounds of boxing in between.
Correct.
So
that's accurate.
Fucking stupid.
Dude, I think you need to just enjoy the fact that it's there and that it's probably the most neckbeard sport that there ever was.
Here's my thing is, so why could you not have, like, if this were a profitable sport, which there's no way it is. No way it is, because it's so fucking stupid. Well, I'm saying, if it were a profitable sport, you would have someone like Manny Pacquiao signing up and just making his way through that first round of chess just to knock the motherfucker out. Like,
do you think he could hold up in the chess, dude?
Yes, because it's only like 3 minutes of chess before they get to the fighting.
The chess has to count for something, though, right? Like, that counts towards winning, I would assume.
No, no.
Yes, it does.
Not if the dude gets knocked out.
Or a checkmate. Wow. Who's the stars in this whole arena? I want to know who,
a bunch of nobodies.
These are neckbeard people, correct? They have to be.
German.
Are they? Is that it? It's German?
Well, just the one that I watched. It was weird. I didn't like it. It was like...
All right, I'm looking at it right now as we speak. I'm looking at it, and these dudes look like... I don't know, nerds that want to be boxers right now. The kid I'm looking at, his arms are about the size of my dick. probably, which is relatively small. I just want to say, like, this kid does not look like he should be boxing. And they are amped. They are amped, dude. They are fucking like screaming at the chessboard. They're punching each other's faces out, dude. There's a Rastafarian referee just fucking naughty dreadlocks, dude.
It just sounds so stupid.
A Santa card girl, dude, that's just waving like the round numbers, dude, with boobalas hanging out, chesticles all over. This is great.
It's just, dude, it's awful.
All right, so if you were to tell me, I should say you're telling me, let's say, like, we're kicking it one day, and I'm like, dude, I got something awesome planned for tonight. We're going to fucking watch a chess boxing match. You would not be down.
I promise you that every time they started to do chess, I would walk out to go get another beer.
I would throw beer bottles I don't even drink, and I would take your beer bottles and throw them up into the ring.
While they're playing chess?
Yeah, I feel like it's a rowdy crowd, dude. I feel like you could get away with that kind of stuff.
I mean, does the crowd go through fucking waves of, like, rowdy to, like, prim and proper?
No, I think they're just screaming at each other the whole time.
Fucking of what?
I don't know, but there's a lot of people in the crowd.
Losers.
I'm looking at it right now.
And that's
dude.
That's why we keep them on that side of the planet.
Unreal. What about extreme ironing? Did you check this out?
Get out of here. Is this real?
Yep, dude. Extreme ironing is an extreme sport in which people take ironing boards to remote locations and iron items of clothing. And the pictures are somebody literally in a shark tank.
Wait, what do you mean?
Sharks.
What? What? Wait, you can't iron underwater.
They're doing it.
No.
They're doing it in a shark tank. They're skydiving, dude, with an ironing board. Like, two dudes are holding the ironing board as they're falling out of the sky. One of them's ironing, dude, and there's just a turkey in the background.
Falling out of the plane, too? What?
Yep, going, oh!
Wait.
Dude, but I'm serious. I'm serious about the falling out of this. Everything except the turkey part was 100% true, dude. Wow, this guy is ironing fucking on the side of a cliff. He's ironing on a cow?
But why?
It's just a sport, dude. Extreme ironing.
It's not a sport.
I'm telling you, dude.
That's not a sport. What's the line? You know what I mean? Like, that's not a sport.
Yeah, that's a good question. Where do you draw the line between a sport and just something fucking dumb?
Because that's fucking dumb. Because, dude, you can't. What are these battery? Like, is that a battery operated iron to be able to jump from a plane and iron? Or are you just going through the fucking motions, pretending to iron like a tool?
No, they're actually ironing.
Okay, then how are you doing it underwater with sharks?
Dude, that I'm not sure of.
You're just burning the shit out. You're boiling the water you're in.
I would assume you're at least warming it up.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do if I saw that guy ironing underwater? I would assume that he would want some toasted bread underwater, so I'd throw a fucking toaster in there too.
That's probably a sport. Okay, let me ask you a question here. Like, would you consider...
It's called suicide. I don't think that's a sport.
I'm sure it is, dude. So that brings up the question: would you consider, like, beer pong a sport, or is it a game? What's the difference between a game and a sport?
Ooh, I like that. Beer pong, I would say, is a game.
But there are definitely people who consider it a sport.
I mean, but there's a competitive aspect to both games and sports. I think the difference is that there is no amount of athletic ability to beer pong.
Okay, so would you consider video games a sport? You know how there's, like, competitive video game players?
No, it's not a sport. It's a
then
game.
How are people getting sports scholarships for this shit, dude?
They're getting
university, which I'm not going to name near me, has a new program.
They're getting esports scholarships for it.
Just sports right in the title, bro.
Yeah, but that doesn't fucking matter.
What do you mean?
It is. It's called electronic sports. It's esports. It's not real sports.
Sure. What is it then?
It's a video game.
So that's my question. Like, how do you define where's the line between a game and a sport?
Athletic ability.
Okay. So you wouldn't consider the mind a muscle that could be used, like you wouldn't consider that athletic. Like if you have a very
I don't think that's athletic.
Mind.
I think you would have a better case if you came back at me and said hand-eye coordination of being able to use a controller.
Or that. Sure,
I think you have a better,
yeah.
Right. So there's a better shot of you changing my mind based off that than saying someone's mind. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna see Rain Man running a fucking 100-meter dash.
You could. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. I don't know that I want to change your mind because I don't know that I agree that it is a sport. But definitely people consider it a sport. There's some like seriously competitive people, dude. I see these guys. They're wearing headbands. They're wearing sweatbands, dude.
Yeah, but
they're making millions of dollars. Some of these dudes.
More than that.
I shouldn't say only dudes, but there's chicks too.
Yeah, they're making like 70 cents to the dollar though.
Yeah. You know what's really fucked up? Twitch, dude. Twitch is fucked up. You ever see that streaming site Twitch?
Yeah, what's wrong with Twitch?
Not a fan of, dude, the whole idea of somebody sitting and watching every single fucking thing you do, dude. Like, I don't want to sit and watch somebody fucking sit there and pound energy drinks and play video games and piss in a jug because they can't get up because they're doing a 72-hour marathon of fucking World of Warcraft, dude. Like, I mean, that's just not.
I would agree with that. I'm not a fan of that either. I don't watch it. I don't watch it, but, like, clearly there's a market.
Yeah, sure. I'm probably alienating, like, a lot of our market that's, like, the whole 12 people that are into this thing. And they're like, dude, 11 of them are like, I'm on Twitch right now as we speak. I'm twitching.
I'm twitching.
Is that what they call it, dude? I don't know. It's hard to say, man. CTEs.
CTE. Yes. I think this is great. I think this is a great topic because I wanted to get, your thought on CTE. And
that's about the only thing I know about Sports Live, right? Is the medical aspect of it.
Because the NFL and football in general there's a spotlight on it for CTE.
Yeah.
And I have we have a mutual friend actually who every little thing CTE wise that comes out about CTE in the NFL gets sent to me. He just sends it to me as if I am a naysayer of CTE in the NFL. And I'm not. It is 100% there. It's 100% an issue, but I'm not the one to figure out how to solve it. I prefer that, in my opinion, that everyone understands that CTE involves in multiple sports across the board. So why is football being attacked so hard?
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know that football's being attacked. I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing awareness to this. I also don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with if you openly go into a sport. I think education's great, right? Mm-hmm. If you go into a sport and you say, there is a good chance that I'm going to smash my brain around enough that I'm going to be fucked when I'm 50 years old, and you're still okay with that, go for it, dude. I don't have a fucking problem with it. Smash your brains out.
Right.
I mean, look, basically NFL is the fucking gladiators of past, right? Like watching people just fucking beat each other up. I mean, essentially, when it comes down to it, like nobody ever had a problem. That's just fucking human nature. We love to watch that shit, dude. Like that.
Right, but again, for it to constantly be on the NFL, as if the NFL is the sport that gives that results in the most CTE instances.
Yeah, I got some stats on that. So let's take a look at this here real quick. Let's take a look at this. So, according to, I'm going back to Wiki, dude, because I like it. Wiki's okay. There are, so this is sports-related head injuries, and there are quite a few sports that it's pretty common, and actually, like, so American football specifically is noted as like one of the highest rates. At least like a lot of these studies have to do with like high school related, like high school age athletes. But I mean, like boxing is a huge one, and I think we've seen that. Like, look at like a lot of the boxers now that were like older boxers, like that have like these, I mean, the same symptoms. So they name boxing, field or ice hockey, lacrosse, martial arts, rugby, soccer, wrestling, auto racing, cycling, like bicycling, rollerblading,
actually,
skateboarding, skiing.
Let me stop you for a second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a pretty incredible story about his concussions. Not necessarily CTE. You know, I'm sure it is in some sort. But again, like there's no real way of proving it until he dies and they can see his brain. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. I recommend everyone listen to a story about the concussions he had that actually led him to retiring. He was dizzy for months. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that was all. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, by far, like, they looked at, over a 3-year period, 23,566 reported injuries in 10 sports. And the highest, which accounted for 773 of these incidences, which is 63.4%, was football. The next highest being wrestling, girls soccer, boys basketball, which is weird. Why do girls have a higher incidence of CTEs than boys do? In all these sports, it's girls sports and then boys sports right after that has a higher incidence of CTEs. Girls are rough.
I think that's exactly what it is. Girls are rough. They are.
Dude, they are
some of my favorite
tough.
Some of my favorite UFC fights and Bellator fights are the women's matches. I mean, they just go at it.
There's something so good just seeing two girls just fucking go at it in the ring with each other, dude. Like
they never seem to really like feel each other out. Like the bell rings and they just fucking sprint at each other. Like
just
it's
going, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
let's see what else we got here, because I did look up a couple other things here. So there are 4 stages of CTEs. And there's a lot of symptoms that like people don't realize that come along with CTEs, which I think is pretty interesting. Specifically in stage 2, where there's like a lot of weird like psychological symptoms. Like the symptoms are depression, mood swings, headache, short-term memory loss, which is kind of expected. Impulsivity, which is very interesting. So people do impulsive things like without thinking about it. Suicidal thoughts, language challenges, which I thought that was very interesting. Like some of these symptoms that were just like, I don't know, kind of weird. You don't really think about it with you know what I mean? Like a brain injury, you think of people just being like, I don't know. Are any of this like strange to you, or is that just me that those are like some of the symptoms?
I don't know. I haven't really heard of a strange one yet.
Like suicidal thoughts and shit like that? Like that's actually a symptom? That's weird to me.
Yeah, I think it just goes with depression.
Paranoia.
And I think that, but I think it's also because it probably, aggression and the bipolarness, absolutely. And I think it just goes to like, your inability to do any sort of problem solving in your head, like in the moment. I think those constant, you know, hits to your head kind of knock that ability away. Can you go back to what you said, the top 10 were, right? So you said football, and then wrestling, and then what?
Here we go. Sorry, I scrolled down to read some of the symptoms. So it's football, wrestling, girls soccer, which is not surprising to me, boys soccer.
So, and
girls
stop right
basketball.
there, right? So what is something that everyone always says is, I don't want my son to play football, they can play soccer.
That's true. I mean, 100% true.
When soccer is, in my opinion, like, you're not going to go, you know, I don't think a lot of people are going to go, my son's not going to play football, he's going to wrestle. So if you take wrestling out, soccer is right there. And the reason soccer is right there is because they take constant hits to their head.
Oh, yeah.
As often as an NFL player or a football player.
But no helmets at all.
No
head protection.
No head protection. So why is it that there's not enough focus on soccer, in my opinion?
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's just because there's such higher rates in football, or if it's lack of education, or if it's just the...
So here's the answer I've gotten from a doctor, my doctor. I won't give his name out. Is that football, it's encouraged to take those, it used to be, right? It used to be encouraged to get those big hits, right? You get those big licks in. And then now we're shining light on it because, not because of high school stats, but because of NFL stats when real money comes into place. We're shining real light onto it because players are now starting to sue, and because the laws in America are so much more strict when it comes to that. And my doctor explained to me that, you know, no one's doing any sort of studies like this for soccer as a whole, because the majority of soccer, like, the liability laws aren't like that overseas. So we're not.
I just think over in Europe they don't give a fuck. They're a bunch of hooligans.
Well, exactly.
They just beat the fuck out of
that's what I'm saying. So they don't care to look into those results because the liability laws aren't like they are here. No one's trying to save their ass the way that they are in America. So, and it's only recently that they've been starting to look into that, into the effects of CTE and the head hits in soccer. And the studies I've seen, I wish I still had it up, where that CTE is just as common, or not more common, in a soccer player than in a football player.
See, I would like to see that, because that goes against the information I have in front of me. Not saying that soccer players aren't up there, but like by drastic amounts, there's a lot more head injuries to football players. Like I said, 63%. Let me get that stat that I just happen to have. Like I said, it's not that I'm downplaying your stat. I would just be interested, because this one says, and who conducted this? That's what I'm interested in. Let me see who conducted this study, because that's. Let me go to a little citation here at the bottom. So this was traumatic brain injury in high school athletes. The Journal of American Medical Association, so the AMA did this study. And like I said, it's just the percentages. 60 out of that large amount that I gave you at the beginning, 63% of those head injuries reported were from football, 10.5 from wrestling, and then soccer 6.2, girls 5.7, boys.
I'm trying to pull it back up, Because it was a 2019.
While you're doing that, in lieu of, or I guess just like to celebrate the the title of our show, Stuff You Wouldn't Say Out Loud, let me just read off some. I'm going to give you some time. Some things. This was an article written by Dan Doyle. I just think this is interesting. 23 bad things about sports. I just think this is things that, like, people would not necessarily bring up. So sports can encourage a child to focus on becoming a star, and that neglects other essential areas of life. Sports offer most common avenue to adolescent acclaim that ends in adolescence, so dropping them off to be nothing for the rest of their life. Sports can cause a child to fall into a pattern of rationalizing unacceptable behavior. A good example is the athlete who becomes so competitive that he or she will do anything to win, convincing him or herself that the ends justify the means. A few sports foster a culture of violence. Sports can produce unhealthy levels of stress. Mm-hmm. Irrational, boorish behavior among parents and athletes. Among parents specifically, I've seen some boorish-ass behavior among parents. A lot of negative role models in sports. Selfish behavior, dreams of glory that induce parents to completely lose perspective of what's really important in their child's life. Can chip away at their self-esteem. The desire to win can lead some athletes to turn to harmful, illegal substances. I don't know about that, dude. That's kind of... Sports can be so time-consuming that it leads athletes with little time for studies. It can be a distraction from serious academic pursuit, which is pretty much what I was saying before. I like this one. From blaming referees for poor calls to listening to those who say you are being treated unfairly, sports can be a haven for excuses, which I agree. I would agree with that one. People become bullies. They underestimate the real meaning of hard work. I don't know about that, because you have to work pretty hard to do good in sports. The trample the opponent philosophy by some parents and coaches send the wrong message about the core value of empathy. Mm-hmm. Burnout, injuries. And finally, sports can teach a child that it is acceptable to cheat or take shortcuts to win, especially if coaches and parents turn a blind eye to such practices. Gamemanship tactics such as flopping in basketball, when a defensive player fakes an offensive foul by falling onto the floor. I agree with that. This is encouraged by coaches and parents employed by young athletes. Acceptance of these tactics foster a belief that such behaviors are not only acceptable but admirable to win at any cost. Any thoughts on that? Any of those?
No, I wasn't really listening.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. No, I don't know. Some of those I agree with. I guess those are things that sports are not so awesome about, like those kind of stuff. Dan Doyle, man, he looks like a pinhead. He seems like he's got it going on. So.
Here I am
you
texting you. I didn't find the exact one, but this one is still related from Wired.com.
Ooh, I like Wired. Okay.
I just sent it to you. There's a there it is.
Received.
Yeah, so like the top thing here is...
Oh, damn, dude, this picture is these guys are smashing each other's heads together.
Well, that's a constant thing.
Yeah, always smashing.
So, neurologists involved in the new study of brain trauma in football players say soccer may rival the sport's impact on the brain. So,
do you think maybe it's just underreported in soccer?
I think that's 1,000% what it is. I don't know when the last time you watched soccer was, but what I will say is that I used to be involved with Major League Soccer to some capacity, and I used to watch constant injuries where nothing happens because it is a running clock. You don't stop the game for an injury. You let that person suffer till they get back up or till they crawl to the sideline. Where in football, you see someone's head hit the ground, they stop the game, they make that person come out, they put that person in concussion protocol, So there's there's a lot more stats on head injuries in football than there is in soccer, and it's only until recently that they're starting to look into this.
I agree with you. I agree. I think that like I said, I think we should be taking, it never hurts to play better safe than sorry. Like, I don't think it's a bad idea for any of these sports to at least be aware. Like I said, I think if you're aware of the risks going into a sport and you still choose to pursue that professionally, or
so that's my biggest takeaway is a sport is a sport is a sport. It is on your parents, or you as a parent, it is on you to figure out whether or not you want your kid to play sports, figure out if you do want them to play sports, to know what the risks are, and how to best keep your kid safe from any sort of major injury like that. And it is on everyone, including the coaches, to be able to have the foresight of making sure you don't put your child or your teammate or your player in those situations. Like, that's why that's called a team sport. That, you need to check out or watch, have everyone's back. But ultimately, like, that's the fun of a sport, is that there is risk involved. You know what I mean? Like, that is...
Yeah. I mean, that's, for sure.
That's
especially
what
like
makes
when you're
it
talking about a sport
fun.
like football. Like, I mean, that's like, you go into it knowing it's a heavy contact sport. Like,
correct. And so my takeaway with football,
every time you go out of.
Anytime I've had our mutual friend, reach out to me about this bullshit, because he's a big soccer guy. To which I don't even combat anything anymore. I just say, hey, yeah, maybe you're right, because I disagree, and I'm not going to change your mind. So I'll just say, hey, yeah, maybe you're right, and I'll leave it at that, because I don't care what your take is anymore, because until soccer players start wearing helmets, I don't want to hear it. and frankly, I don't want to see soccer players wear helmets. I don't want to live in that world. That is just so silly. Like, you know the risk involved, and that's that. My biggest takeaway is that when you look at some NFL players, a lot of trouble that some of them are getting into, legal trouble, is not derivative of their CTE. It's derivative of the surroundings of which they grew up in.
I would agree with that.
Not all of them.
So, no. But yeah. I mean, a lot of them, that's their shot. Like, that's what they're good at.
And if they did not become a football player, where do you think they would be? They would have never went to college.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. So here's my question to you, because I know we're kind of getting into the wrapping up phases. I know we're getting there on time. But one of my last questions to you is all that being said and done, your son wants to play football. Are you okay with it, yes or no?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
But again, it's on me to let him know every risk involved and let him make the wiser decision.
Even if, like, an adolescent... I mean, think of some of the decisions you made as a teenager.
Yeah. What about them?
You still are okay with it?
Like, in what regard? Decision I made as a teenager?
Like, I'm just saying, like, you, as adolescents...
Yeah. So what I will say is...
part of our brain isn't fully developed. You know what I mean? That's a fact.
Sure. But I also, so I can specifically think back to when I played football, and I was not the kid... even back then, like they said the proper way to tackle is lead with your head. And me being my age, I thought, no, I'll risk just using my arm because I'm not going to stick my fucking head in there.
You're not smashing your head into, sure.
And so,
no, and I mean, I think that's. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I was just curious. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just.
So I think. I just think that kids can still be cognizant of the danger they're putting themselves in. You know what I mean? Like.
You know what I want to know?
Because I specifically remember being cognizant of that when I played.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like now with more precautions, I think it's a lot safer.
However, there's freak accidents. There's always freak accidents,
Absolutely.
You know? But there's freak accident, like you could get in a car wreck taking your kid to football practice.
You know how many times I've smacked my head skateboarding, dude? I can't even tell you the amount of times I've smacked my head skateboarding. Because I skateboarded for, like, I mean, like, no, I guess seriously, like, it was a huge part of my life for, like, at least 5 or 6 years growing up. Yeah. And I smacked my head. I threw myself downstairs. I smashed myself on rail, dude.
Well, that's the thing, is if you want to have fun, you're going to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
You got to live. You got to live. Like,
and ultimately, my thing is that if my son wants to play football, I'm fine with it. It's my wife you have to worry about.
Oh,
however,
lady.
On top, even if she was fine with football, my thing is that I am never going to force a sport on my kid. It's never going to happen. I'm going to be the opposite. If my son wants to get into magic, dude, me too then. Like, I'm going to go...
Dude, hell yeah. I'm all about it. Dude, if your son wants to get into magic, you let me know. Cause I think that shit's great, dude.
I am going to be...
I seriously love some magic, dude. That's some great shit. That is amazing.
I'm going to go full throttle into whatever his interests are, and it's going to be on me to try and understand that I need to step back and let him, you know, do things on his own a little bit, because he's not going to want to be overwhelmed by me trying to participate in everything. That's going to be what's hard for me. I'm never going to be the parent to try and push him to do something that I'm interested in.
Could you try, though, just try to lead him into magic now that we're talking about it? I really kind of like that idea.
I've been trying to pull quarters out of his ear.
Like, put some David Copperfield on, dude, every Sunday or something. Just little hints, you know, give him a top hat, maybe, like for a birthday present.
Yeah, I can.
Something. I'll take care of it. Okay. That way you don't have to be the person doing it. I'll just little hints. Sure, I got it.
All right.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well.
But anything else you want to add to the shenanigans? I mean, I think we covered sports in the most half-assed, terrible way you ever could. So that's pretty much our style.
We did it. I'm sure there will be more sports to come, as well as, you know, almost everything else. I do want to, you know, thank the people that did reach out, talking about if a witch and whatever the other thing was.
You just sound so depressed about that. You're like, yeah, it's just a witch and
I can't help but think about what a nightmare you made this podcast to edit.
What did I do now, dude? What the fuck did I do now?
You have dropped a call.
I did. I dropped a call.
You said shit you shouldn't say.
That was you, I think, anyways.
I don't think so.
I think that was the Twitch overlords, dude. Our Twitch sponsors were like, hey, yank this shit. Nope.
But also I don't remember what it was. It was a witch can be a something and a something and a something, or...
Yeah, and I'm glad that people, we got, some mermaid responses, which I'm sure was not an option, but I'm glad that people...
I don't think it was.
I'm not even sure where that came from.
No.
But I'm glad that you did reach out, and continue to do so, please. We love hearing from you guys.
So, obviously, there is the email. I don't know if we have any updates on any sort of social media. I'm gonna guess no.
We do not, but I expect that to, in the next week, expect that to pop up. If you're searching for us, in the next week, you will have a Twitter, a Facebook.
Let's just stick to Twitter. Who the fuck cares about the other things?
We need a Facebook discussion group to discuss these matters, I feel like.
I don't
That's what I
think
like
so.
about Facebook.
I don't think so. I think you just need a Twitter, and then you need an email.
And a Twitch. We'll get a Twitch.
We'll get a Twitch. And we'll just we will just stream every chess boxing match we can find.
Yeah, that's all it's going to be. Is just turkey falling out of planes, chess boxing matches. That's it. It's just going to be good.
My God. An extreme irony.
We killed it.
All right.
Extreme ironing.
I want to thank everyone for listening.
Thank you so much.
And please continue to do so. Please rate, comment, review, all of that on all of the platforms, especially Apple Podcast. That is such a big one for us.
Yeah, we need that in our lives. Apple Podcast.
And share it with a friend. Please do. But that is all.
We love to. We like to. You can never have too many friends. So.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, your friends will probably not. But just give it a show to them anyways. They might. You never know.
Yep.
There's a possibility.
So thanks for listening. I am Jake.
Yeah. And I am Mike.
Till next time, motherfuckers.
Cue the music, bitch.
Perfect.